Sometimes a customer will give you an upfront deposit on a project, but technically it's not really income because you haven't earned it yet. Depending on your type of business, these payments could be a down payment, a retainer, or a deposit. There are two ways to handle these prepayments. The trickier way that follows accounting principles and the easier way that works, but you might get disapproving sighs from your accountant. First, the accountant-approved way. Let's say a customer writes a check as a deposit and you put it in your checking account. But you should not record it as income when you receive the check because it's actually considered a liability or loan until you actually perform the work. So before accepting prepayments, you need an account to track the prepayments separate from your income, and you need a payment item to use on invoices to subtract the payment from the invoice amount. So first we'll create a liability account for the prepayments. Click Chart of Accounts and go to the Account menu and click New. Click Other Account Types, and then from the menu choose Other Current Liability. Click Continue. For the account name, let's do it the simple way. Select from Examples. And here it is, Advanced Customer Payments. Click OK. And that's it. Click Save and Close. Let's close the Chart of Accounts. And we also need an item for the deposit that is linked to the liability account. We can create it on the fly as we record the prepayment. And we'll do that by creating a sales receipt. Let's see, let me reposition that so we can see it better. So first choose the customer. And let's choose Leticia. And for the class, let's choose landscaping. And then you would choose the date that you received the funds. And let's leave it at today's date, whatever date that will be when you are watching the video. And you could write down the optional check number and choose the payment method. So click in the item column and choose Add New. Because we need to link the item to an account, we need to choose an item type that can link to the account. So for services, choose Service as the item type. If you sell products, choose Other Charge. So for this company, we'll choose Service. And for the name, type Upfront Deposit. And click in the description field and type Prepayments for Services. We'll leave the rate and tax code, we'll change to none because it's a service. And the account, we'll select the liability account we just created. Advanced Customer Payments. Click OK. So in the amount field, type the amount of the prepayment and we'll type 1,000. The rest looks okay, so let's click Save and Close. So now let's say you've completed the work and are ready to invoice the customer. You apply the prepayment to the invoice, and the amount reduces the amount the customer owes you. The prepayment is removed from the liability account and is applied to the appropriate income account. So let's go to Create Invoices and choose the customer, Leticia, and the class, let's do landscaping. And let's change the date to the last day of whatever month it is. So click in the item column and choose Design, enter a quantity of 15, and press Tab. Click in the item column and choose Landscape Labor, and the quantity was 80 hours. Press Tab. Now we'll enter the deposit amount. So we'll choose the upfront deposit service we just created and enter the amount as a negative number. So we'll enter negative 1,000. And you can see that the total is reduced by $1,000. So let's click Save and Close. Now for the easier way. But before I show you, in another video we created a payment item to handle payments received at the time of the sale. I'll show you as a quick reminder. Go to the items list, and we created a payment by check item. Let's go ahead and close the list. We'll create a credit memo to account for the down payment. So let's choose a customer. Let's do Paula. And the class, landscaping. Click in the Item column and choose the payment item, payment by check, and for the amount, let's type $750. Click Save and Close. And QuickBooks asks what you want to do with this credit, and we do want to retain it as available credit for later, so click OK. When you're ready to invoice, create the invoice, enter the class, enter the items, and when you click Save and Close, QuickBooks will say that the customer has available credits that can be applied to the invoice. Yes, we'd like to apply those now, so click Yes. And this is the credit memo we want to use. So everything looks fine. Click Done. So which method should you use? If your business handles a lot of deposits or retainers, the first accountant-approved method is probably better. But if you only occasionally use deposits, the credit memo method works just fine.